Hi there everyone, welcome back to Cooking with Jamila. So today's video I'm going to show you how I make my layered chapatis, the Kenyan way of making chapatis. These chapatis taste delicious and different from the way I was so used to make them, and I serve them with some beef stew. First I was trying to play around measuring my flour. Of course I didn't use the exact measurements as it shows here in the video, but yeah, use your eyes or you pour the flour until the ancestors say stop. But I used approximately around 450 grams of flour. I was cutting the onion because I want my onions really thin in the chapatis. I don't know, but I always love to have onions in my chapati dough. Some people make it without, but for me it gives it that extra taste. And if you have some carrots, you can also add them. Get some water, add in some salt and oil. For the salt and oil, I just realized that before I used to just add in water and salt, but oil makes it the dough a little bit more softer. Mix, and guess what? These are the only three ingredients you need. You need flour, onions, and water. So I was here assembling my baking machine because I decided this time around I was so lazy honestly to make the dough, so I just wanted to use the machine to go fast and everything. I'm using this, it comes with three different sizes, but I'm using this specific one. I don't know the names because your girl here is from the village. I first added in the flour and then some onions and water, and then I just mix. And if you don't have a machine, don't be like, oh, I cannot make chapatis because I don't have a baking machine. You can use your hands and you can knead your dough well as the machine. Actually, I also use the machine, but I usually, after using the machine, I use my hands because I need to feel the flour, and also we have that warmth in our hands that make it go faster. I don't know. So I end up either ways using both my hands and the machine. So here it was kind of some quality check about how the dough is. If you add in a little bit more water, just add in more flour to have a consistency. So for me, what I usually do, I add in water little by little. So basically I don't have any measurements for how much water you should use in your chapatis. Your girl here is African, so hello, we don't measure things. I think I should come forward with this. We don't measure things, we use our eyes. We can make a dish today and the next day, and those two dishes will taste differently, but you use the same ingredients just because we don't measure things. So here I was me kneading with my hands and it went fast and the dough was done. I had to keep the dough rest because I also figured out if I let my dough rest a little bit, at least 20 minutes or longer, it gets even more softer, and this gives it the chapatis become more softer when you fry them later on. So I just let it rest in room temperature, nothing more I did. And then I continued. I was just cleaning up the kitchen and preparing for when I was gonna fry the chapatis. Honestly, chapatis is a whole gym for the hands. I feel like you use your hands a lot because you have to knead the dough, and you have to roll them out and all that. So if you also want to skip gym day and you want to make your hands, just try to make chapatis or just do any baking like African baking. Here was me patting the dough into small pieces because I wanted to make the round shapes before I started making the chapatis. You can use a knife, you can use your hands. I find the knife easier for me. And when I'm always making these chapatis, I make sure I have flour, like dry flour, on the surface where I'm using it, because I don't want the dough to stick around, or when I'm knitting I don't want it to be sticky. So with the dry dough it helps. These were the round shapes I made. So here I'm showing you how I make it. And basically this is really simple. Just, you know, just fold, make a ball and leave it there and continue with your chapatis. And according to how many people you're making chapatis for is how much flour you're going to use. Here I was just making them for me and Musa, and he literally just eats 2 chapatis, like when I make Lorex, and then me, I eat a few for, like, I take to work or for dinner or something like that. So you decide how many chapatis you want, and you decide the size of the chapatis according to your frying pan, because I don't have really that a big frying pan, so my chapatis have to be medium size. Over here I'm rolling them out. Oh, I hate this part because like my arms really hurt and hurt and hurt, but of course I have to do it, and people really requested for this specific video, and I realized I hadn't made chapati video. See, your girl has made a round shaped chapati. Oh, it's not easy to always come out round. If you don't want to make layers, actually this is already ready to be fried, but I'm making layered chapatis. So I put some oil and then I sprinkle some flour and roll them out. I roll the chapati like you know, like a cinnamon ball later, and then you just let it rest, and then later I will roll them out again. I'll show the process here on the in the next clips. So this is me rolling, and just there is so many different ways of rolling, but for me this is the easiest one. This is the one I can do. I remember when one of my mom's Kenyan friend came to visit us in Uganda one time, and I was so I don't know, I was so impressed by the way she made her chapatis, and I remember they tasted really so good. So ever since then, that's why I was like, okay, I have to try again how to make layered chapatis, because like I was so impressed, and they just tasted different than the Ugandan chapatis. People don't know it, but I know. Or people who know. If you know, you know. This was all the chapatis done to be layered out, and it's time to make the actual chapati. Here I'm just going to roll out my chapati. I'm going to roll them out to keep that round shape again. So I'm literally doing the same thing as the first step, but with the layers. And you have to be careful not to break the chapati. So I always add the dry flour down, and then I roll them out. The frying is another trick. So first I don't put oil on the pan, I just put on my chapati there, change to the other side, and then after I change to the other side, that's when I put on oil, a little bit of oil, not a lot, just a little bit. I spread it around, and then I turn the chapati to the other side, and I do the same thing to the other side of the chapati. So I feel like, I don't know how people out there fry their chapatis, but for me this is the easiest way, and it gives it also an extra taste, and I always like them crispy on the top. I remember growing up we used to eat like deep fried chapatis and all that. Oh my god, I haven't tasted those in a long time. But yeah, if you want to deep fry them, but if you want to cook them with like less oil, this is the way you make them. And when I'm making my chapatis, I put them on a side on a plate and cover them around. So over here is just me showing you that you repeat the process, do this until you are done with all your chapatis. Sometimes you roll them out and be done with the chapatis before you start cooking them, or you can cook the chapati, fry the chapatis while you're rolling out the other ones. So see how soft these chapatis look. See how the layers came out really good. Honestly, I don't know, if I could transfer test through a video, you would test them. You would really test how good these chapatis are tasting. And you layer them out, serve them. Chapati can be served with a lot of different things. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time.